You have been speaking English for years, maybe decades. You can write a decent email, you can get through a meeting, you can answer questions, but something still feels off. It doesn't sound like you. It sounds like you're performing a version of yourself that speaks a foreign language. Every sentence is slightly effortful. Every conversation leaves you feeling like you just came off a stage. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and give you one fix that changes everything. Not 7, just 1. This might be the most useful 3 minutes you've spent on your communication. I'm Farzana Parvin. I work with professionals, executives, and corporate teams across India and GCC on one thing, not fluency, it's clarity, and more specifically, sounding like yourself in English. What I'm about to share is something I've observed across hundreds of coaching sessions. The people who sounded unnatural in English all had the same root cause, and once we fixed that one thing, everything else clicked into place. If you're new here, subscribe. I make content for working professionals who are tired of English advices that doesn't work in real life. Here are the 7 reasons your English doesn't sound natural and how to fix each one. Point number 1, you are translating in real time, and it shows. When you formulate a thought in your mother tongue and then convert it to English, the result arrives in English, but it carries the structure, the rhythm, and logic of your first language. Be it Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Arabic. Every language has its own natural sentence architecture. English processes subject first, then verb, then object. Many Indian languages and Arabic flip this. When you translate rather than think, you get English words in non-English patterns. It doesn't sound wrong exactly, it sounds off. Stop translating words. Start translating the feeling or the idea. Ask yourself, what do I want the other person to understand? Not how do I say the sentence in English. I had a client in Dubai, a senior software architect, a brilliant man who would speak in perfect but stilted English because he was mentally converting from Hindi. We spent one session where I asked him to describe his day, not in Hindi translated English, but in feelings and observations. He spoke for 20 minutes without once stopping. It was the most natural English he'd ever produced. He didn't know it was possible before that. Point number 2, you are performing instead of communicating. There's a specific version of English that many Indian professionals put on when they are in a professional setting. The voice goes slightly higher, then vocabulary becomes more formal. The sentences get longer. They are performing professional English as if it were a costume. Here's what nobody says. Natural English is slightly casual, even in professional settings. Native English speakers in boardrooms say so basically and right, so. I think what's happening here is they don't always speak in perfectly structured paragraphs, and that looseness is what makes them sound confident. Find the version of English that's 1 degree more relaxed than your formal English. That's your natural English. Point number 3, your sentences start wrong. I was just thinking that maybe we could potentially consider. You haven't even made your point, and yet the listener has already mentally classified you as uncertain. Natural English starts with the point, then the context, not the other way around. We should change the deadline. Here is why. Not I was thinking, given the situation, that perhaps with some consideration, the deadline might benefit from an adjustment. Every time you speak, your first sentence should contain your main idea. Everything else is explanation. Point number 4, you hedge everything. Kind of, sort of, maybe, I think, not sure if this is right, but correct me if I'm wrong. Hedges have their place in genuinely uncertain moments. But when every sentence carries a hedge, it signals that you don't trust your own ideas. And if you don't trust them, the listener won't either. Say what you mean. If you are not sure, 1 hedge is fine. I think the numbers suggest this. I'm not entirely sure, but I might be thinking that perhaps the number could be sort of suggest something like XYZ. Hope it helps. It will help. Point number 5, wrong register, wrong moment. Register is the level of formality in your language. Your professionalism in India were taught 1 register, formal. So they say subsequently in a casual conversation, and may I humbly request in a mail to a colleague they have worked for 5 years. Natural English moves between registers fluidly. Formal in a board presentation, conversational in a team meeting, direct in negotiation. When you only have one setting, you sound robotic. Not as the register of the people you are speaking with. Match it. If your manager says, yeah, let's sort it out, you don't need to respond with, certainly, I shall ensure this is resolved at the earliest. I hope you got the point. Point number 6, you're afraid of silence. Yes, I said it. Silence to most people feels like failure. So we fill it with sound, with filler words, with additional sentences that weren't needed. And paradoxically, all the extra sound is what makes us sound unnatural. Natural speakers pause. They think, they breathe, they let an idea land before moving to the next one. Those pauses are not awkward. They are the punctuation of spoken English. After making a point, stop. Let it exist for 2 seconds. Resist the urge to fill it. That resistance is the skill. Point number 7, you don't trust your own voice. And that's the big one. Underneath all the other points is this. You have spent years receiving the message subtly, constantly, that your English is not quite right. Not polished enough, not native enough, not confident enough. And so you approach every English conversation with a slight apology, a slight bracing for judgment. And that bracing, that defensive crouch, is what sounds unnatural. Not your vocabulary, not your grammar, the apology. The fix isn't a phrase. The fix is the decision to speak as if your English is worth hearing, because it is. The one fix that ties all 7 together. Start every conversation with the assumption that what you have to say is worth saying clearly. Everything else follows from that. If this was useful, share it with one person you know who feels the way about their English. They won't know how to thank you. The 9-minute English clarity check in the description will tell you exactly which of these 7 is your main issue. Feel free, just take 9 minutes. Link in the description.